Welcome back to the TMNT NECA. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for January 7th. We're a week into January of 2024, and a light week. It really is a light week of news. There's still stuff going on, always stuff going on with Transformers, a little bit of Masterpiece, some more Legends, and some mainline stuff that's going on. We got a second shot at this. Well, you did, but you didn't. Really, but not really. But we're going to talk a little bit about some Thundercats stuff going on right now. Little Masters of the Universe stuff going on. Ollie's getting some Master of the Universe stuff for cheap. How cheap was it? I'll tell you. And then we got the Turtles of Grayskull stuff starting to show up. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure which wave this is and which wave I saw in the store, because I'm not really that into it, and I'll do a better job taking pictures in the future. But I do have some pictures to share of a few things, but these are showing up. There's first two waves are like wave 1's hitting and wave 2 is pre-orderable, I believe. Anyway, we've got some actual real pictures of the real production figures for wave whatever it is that's coming out now for this whole G.I. Joe Ultimates Super 7, and I gotta say they're all looking pretty good. And then Star Wars actually does have some news a little bit. It's mostly this stuff is starting to show up, and we'll talk about that and more coming up. All right, starting out with what's new at Show Z, what's all going on at Show Z. We got the Doctor Wu mini cassette, Impact, Wave, and I do believe that these are to scale with the Hasbro stuff, the Blaster or Soundwave. Are these Autobots or Decepticons? Anyway, they do look pretty cool. No price just yet, but these are up for pre-order. But estimated release date, 4th quarter 2024. Then we have the X-Transbot Scourge, their Andrus, $90. And it looks like it's in stock now, coming soon, something along those lines. And they did have a 3-pack for sale, but that one seems to be sold out. But you can order 3 of these if you want. But coming in, probably has something to do with Fans Toys coming out. We also got the Lucky Cat Extreme Trans ET02 Optimus Prime. And this is coming soon, coming into stock. A couple of other pictures on that. But pretty cool, interesting. I think it is going to be about Legend scale, but I don't see anywhere on there where the height is of this. But I feel like it's Legend scale, but I might be wrong. And lastly, we got the Sightings Culture Lattice Stock Metroplex. I just did review this. I actually missed a couple of the features. There's a lot of features with this, but it's on sale for $160, and they're giving you what appears to be a $21 shipping credit on this because they're shipping by sea. Will take 40 to 70 days to get to the U.S. So it could take 2.5 months to get to the U.S. if you order it. But for $139, it is the cheapest, almost by $80 anywhere. So that's a good deal. And it's a pretty solid figure. Check out my review. And don't forget to put TH in the box. TH in the box. All right, so in Masterpiece News here, we've got the Ocular Max PS21 Ignis. This is their hotshot. It's looking pretty good. It's been up for pre-order at least Show Z, maybe a couple of other places. Looks like it's getting much further along. I didn't talk about this in the Friday video because I really didn't know how close this was. Looks like it's the next one on their list, and it does look really good, and it actually scales really well. I'm kind of thinking this MMC set, if you're in on the X-Transbots for combined mode, this would be great for bot mode, and it is a good set. The only thing is the combined mode is only about 18 inches versus the 21 that the rest of them are. But here we go, right here in the alt mode. I think the alt mode looks pretty good. And then this is actual prototype stuff, so it's not like they're just renders. And here it is in combined mode. Well, sort of. I mean, combined with what they've got. They haven't made all the other ones yet, but yeah, it's an actual prototype, and it's not rendered useless. And I did talk about this in the Friday video, the Fast and Fury, that they're supposed to be coming in January, or at least first quarter. And these look done. I mean, this looks like they are done. They're ready to get them out. That's the way it looks to me. But there's so much shared engineering in these, I believe. And I kind of hope that they're not overly complicated or anything like that. But I see so many things that look so similar on these two, which makes a whole lot of sense. Even though they transform or convert into different car models, it's still cool to see it. Anyhow, they're coming along really well. Here are the different car models. Nice Lotus there. And with that, I do believe they're going to get these out pretty soon. Relatively quick. And excited for them. I think a lot of people are really excited for these. Just new characters in general. Yellow Park is showing off their AMK series Rise of the Beast Rhinox. And this is a color prototype. This one here is approximately 20 centimeters tall, making it a little under 8 inches. So this is going to have approximately 30 movable joints on the body, richly detailed head sculpt, armor coating with a striking metallic sheen to it. It's also going to come with an energy axe, 2 energy swords, and an ion blaster. 2 ion blasters. So pretty cool stuff coming from them if you're in on this. I think Yellow Park's doing great work. So, real light week on Masterpiece news. But getting into Legends, there's a little bit more. There's this Thunder King combiner showing it combined. I believe that's all of the correct components on it to make it combined. It looks really good. That's, in my opinion, I like the way this mini one, the Legend scale one, looks better than the Masterpiece one. That's just my opinion. I think they both look very interesting and stylized. Here is what they're calling their Furo Mini. And yeah, that looks pretty cool. Little guy right there. That there's not any other real angles of it, but that should be coming relatively soon. And here's the alt mode for that one. And as we just saw in the picture, somewhere in there I believe he makes an arm, something along those lines. But pretty cool looking stuff. Moving really fast on this set. That's what I've noticed though. In Legends, they move a lot faster, no matter what company it is. They move faster than Masterpiece. Speaking of companies moving fast with their Legends, this one is the DX9, their take on Chrome Dome. And so this is kind of an old picture with a comparison to what it should be looking like, matching the animation. But then we have the alt mode. And I don't remember seeing many pictures of the alt mode before, so here it is. But I think we did see one earlier. So we've got this one from this angle. And, okay, I'm going to admit, I don't think it looks the greatest in the alt mode. But I don't think it looks horrible either. I mean, you think about Legends and you get a little bit of a pass on, especially alt modes in Legends. As long as the bot mode looks fantastic like it does, then I'm in, I'm game, I'm down for it. I guess it would be nice to see a side-by-side comparison of this one to the Unique Toys one that was KO oversized by McFan's Toys. Now this is Dr. Wu's MPH-S03 War Armor. This is their take on a small version of Warpath. But I'm not going to lie, I think this will work perfectly fine on a Legend scale. Legend shelf. I think it looks good. I think it looks really good. And think about how small this is. And yeah, it's a mini bot. And we're going to do a little comparison here to the G1. But right now, this is just the alt mode. And the alt mode looks fantastic. It's great. And kind of what you'd expect for it. I'm wondering, though, if some of the side pieces aren't fully tabbed in. And it just kind of bowed out a little bit. And then here we go, compared to the G1. So G1's on the left. It's a little bit bigger. And you're going to find with Legends, sometimes the Legends figures are bigger than the G1. And sometimes they're a little smaller. But for the most part, most of the time, actually Legends are bigger, especially when it comes to mini bots and stuff. But there it is. And I think it will fit a Legend scale perfect. It's not made for Legends, but it will work. So we got this Machine one. We've seen this before, but we got a bunch of new pictures, but 2 ones that show the most I'm going to show. And this is their Trypticon. And I'm still a little unsure so are we going to get this one and are we going to get the Cyan Culture one? So I'm guessing we're getting 2. I guess that's how it's going to go because I don't see anywhere that there's a collaboration between these 2, but it would make sense that they would just make... Anyway, competition's good. It looks pretty interesting. Here is the other angle of it. And yeah, it looks good. Something that would be needed to go up against, of course, the Metroplex that we have, going up against the Trypticon, make that happen and work well. I would like to see this compared side by side with the Cyan Culture Metroplex. Another Doctor Wu, which I think might work well with the Legends, is the BM-01 Ape Commander. I still don't have the height on this guy just yet, but it looks pretty good. I mean, if you're really into the Beast Wars stuff, there's not a lot of Beast Wars stuff going on in the Legends scale, so this is pretty cool. And then looking at the alt mode, it works. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it works. It gets the job done. And with that, I think it'll work. I think it'll be a good Legend scale. If you're trying to put together sort of a Beast Wars Legend shelf, then this is the way to go. All right, now I'm not sure why I put this in with my mainline stuff, but it's the YOLO Park. I should have put it in with closer to Masterpiece. I don't know, scale-wise, or right in between Masterpiece and mainline. But it's the AMK series Rise of the Beast Cheetor in-hand images, and it turns out it's looking pretty good. It is a bit stylized. One of the things I do like about the YOLO Park stuff is that the G1 stuff looks pretty darn G1. This looks like a bit of a departure from what we would expect to see. It is Rise of the Beast, so it is trying to match the movie more than the cartoon, but I would have expected a little bit closer to the cartoon. Anyway, they're trying to hit that Rise of the Beast look. If you like the Rise of the Beast look, this is top notch. Alright, so what I think of the biggest news for Hasbro this week is the new Selects Autobot multi-pack listings. They're found, and there's going to be a combination of Hound, Jazz, Wheeljack, Sunstreaker, and Trailbreaker. Some way, shape, or form. Some mixture of these, which it's kind of strange too. Like they're multi-packs. Is it going to be a full multi-pack of all 5? Is it going to be several different multi-packs? I don't know. I don't know just yet. But it's pretty interesting that this is a thing that's going to happen. And if, let's say, you missed out on a Wheeljack or a Jazz, actually looking at pretty much all these, my son could use every one of these. So it'd be a great thing for my son if he's missed out on these. So I don't really have a problem with that. It would be nice, though, that the redeco of them will look a little different than what they put out in the past. And I'm all about that. I'm about the idea of, if they're going to put it back out, make it a little bit different. What does suck, though, is when they put it out, they make it way better than what you already paid money for. And you're kind of forced to get this or just live with the less better version. Anyhow, this is a good thing coming forward. So we've got some Legacy United Commander Magmatron behind the scenes official images, and I gotta say that this is starting to warm on me. I'm starting to warm up to it a bit. It's kind of cool. At first, I didn't know what to think when I first saw this thing. I was like, what is this? But it does look pretty cool, especially when it's combined. It sort of is starting to remind me a bit of the GoBots Dino Combiner. I know this is not at all the same thing, but kind of has that same vibe to me. Here's another picture of one of the components in the alt mode, the whatever this creature is mode, their dino mode. So dinosaurs definitely sell, and that's of course why this thing is pretty interesting, and people are probably going to be all over this. And here we go with another picture of some of them in their dino modes, and it's a lot of fun. It's kind of hard not to like the dinosaurs that are out there, especially this Magmatron, looking pretty cool. Haven't really been covering a whole lot of Earthspark stuff, but here is the Optimus Prime battle-based trailer in-hand images, and it's interesting. It's different. It's definitely not following the same thing as G1, offering some new stuff to it, and this definitely looks like it's targeting kids. Hopefully the price point stay in line with kids. Here it is in all of its transformed up splendor. If you like it, then you're definitely going to win with this one. Alright, so what's all showing up out there? There's this core class wave, and these are showing up. Right now, the Boulder Dash, the Megatron, and then the Tasmania Kid. If you're into this stuff, the core class, it's pretty much all I'm seeing new at retail currently. Evidently, these are hitting shelves in Canada, so we've got these two showing up, and it's pretty cool. It's interesting to get these already, and the Junkion Scrap Heap's the one I'm more excited about. Then there's the Gamer Edition Starscream out there. I guess that's packed in a wave together. Pretty cool stuff. And more Earthsparks showing up. I guess these are new ones. I actually don't have anything to do with them, but they look like they sort of combine with each other to stack on top of each other. That's a cool feature. Alright, so getting into some other news, non-Transformer news, the rest of the story. Here we go with Super 7 Ultimates G.I. Joe Doc. And this is the first picture I've seen on the internet of the actual figure itself, of the actual pack and all that. And the thing is, everything else shows renders. So I think it looks really good. I think it looks fantastic. Exactly what I want to see in a G.I. Joe Doc figure. I'm super excited. I got mine pre-ordered at BBTS, but the seller was selling this as open box deal for $45, which is a great deal. 45 shipped. Not bad at all. So another listing showing the actual product of Storm Shadow, and that looks really good. Fantastic looking figure overall. I think they nailed it. It looks awesome. I love the idea of having throwing stars in there. Just, that is so awesome. And yeah, scary, you might lose them. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be scary that you might lose those throwing stars, but they are really cool. It's pretty awesome. Then you get to see the nunchucks. You get to see all of the accessories that are in there. And again, not a digital render and not a prototype at a show or a con or something like that on a shelf that's kind of obscured and hard to see. This is up close personal. I got 2 of these on pre-order at BBTS. Yes, full price. Yes, I'm really excited because I'm definitely going to open one of these right away. Might wait on a deal on the rest of them though. But yeah, I'm in on all of the Thundercats, and I'm in on all of these G.I. Joes from them as they come in. Now, another Super 7 situation here. So this is the exclusive Super 7 only exclusive glow-in-the-dark Chitara. Now, this is the same thing that we saw with the clear blue Lion-O, the Ghost Jaga. Ghost Jaga. The clear Lion-O is something that we're probably never going to get because it didn't get unlocked. So anyhow, so Ghost Jaga was a Super 7 only. This is a Super 7 only. But they both showed up in small quantities over at BBTS. Now the difference between that one and this one is that this one was $90. Ghost Jaga, they put it up for normal price, $55. This one, $90. Now, I believe this one might have actually cost a little more because of the glow. I don't even remember. I ordered mine so long ago. But I did get mine in. I'm glad I ordered it. I'm glad I don't have to mess with trying to find it on secondary market or anything like that. But I think this is the wave of the future. These kind of specialty ones, although they're kind of recolors, repaints of an existing mold, are going to be made in much smaller quantities and much harder to get. Even this Chitara, which a lot of people said they're going to pass on, is like a $100 figure nowadays. And another new low for the Super 7, the Thunder Tank. Anyhow, this Thunder Tank is got a new low of price on Amazon. And as I'm looking right now, there's 3 left for $378, which does kind of make me wish I would have waited and got mine a lot cheaper than I did. But it's not really that big of a deal. I do find it really interesting, though. In that same listing on Amazon, you can select different things, I guess, from the same seller. And their Groon is 36. Their Lion-O, Hook Lion-O, the ice one that changes colors, 38. Mumra, 53, which is a little cheaper than normal. Tigra, $225. They want almost as much for their Tigra as the Thunder Tank. That's crazy. Now, this is actually a picture from Ramen Toy that I was wanting to find because I'm still curious how much tan interior there is. And I'm actually quite pleased. And I think this was available last week. I just kind of somehow spaced it, skipped over it or whatever. But this looks like it's mostly just the seats that are tan and everything else is still black in there, which is cool, which I like. I like that idea because I was thinking, what's going to look like with a tan dashboard and everything else being tan in there. But if it's mostly black with tan seats, man, that's still going to look really cool. I mean, overall, it looks really cool. So I'm excited to get this in and just see. I'm more excited, though, about the shininess, the shiny sheen of this versus kind of the flat matte we got in the last release. But, yeah, looks really good. And there's a lot more news for Ramen Toy. I'm going to do a whole separate video about that, and I want to get more information, hopefully more pictures. Okay, next up we have this Dark Rex. It's the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate Evil Rex. 7-inch scale, which he's big, though, but he's 7-inch scale. And he looks pretty cool. I think they're making like a supersized Rex too. Is that what's going on? Or are they making a supersized Krang? Maybe it's supersized Krang. Anyhow, this is a very interesting looking version. I think the first Rex was a hit for everybody and it looks great. For some reason I remember thinking it was 40. I might have been wrong. It might have been 50. But 50 seemed a bit much. But it is a big figure though. It is really a big figure. But I did feel like 50 was a bit much. But then again, I mean, we're paying $55 for Super 7 Ultimate, so I mean, I guess how can you argue with this giant figure for $50? But anyhow, it's kind of cool. It's one of those. Will this one be popular because it's not as common, I guess, or known as the other one? Which I didn't know Rex until they made the figure anyway. I'm not sure if I'm in on this for $50 though. Sadly, I kind of think I'm turtled out. Yeah, I do think I'm turtled out. But, yeah, that's going to be a good topic that we roll into just next. Alright, so Turtles of Grayskull Wave 1 and 2 listings are live at various places. I think BBTS and stuff. And I said this isn't really for me. The people that love this, that's fantastic. I hope they really enjoy it. I actually saw this. I don't know if these were the ones or not. I didn't care enough to go deep enough, and I should have taken a picture then. So I'm a little late on my picture taking, but so I'm at a Target, and I passed on them, and the next day they were gone. I mean, obviously there's just one box, one wave, one of each figure they're gonna buy, but I'm not ready to drop $100 on those things. I'm not super into. I'm gonna play the long game. I might pick them up on clearance, but it looks like this mouse jaw came as a whole case of just mouse jaws. So I mean, one or two of them sold, maybe three of them sold, but 25 for the price point. That's a lot of stuff you get in there. And let me tell you this though, that makes a whole lot more sense for 25 than a $40 Moss Man. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, you get so much more with this. There's so much more going on. Then they charge you $40 for a Moss Man with way less stuff going on. That's the difference between Target and Walmart these days. Alright, so looks like we are getting some more Ghostbusters stuff. It's not at all what I expected, but it's definitely looked like it's targeting the kid market, which, yeah, that's a good thing. I hope so. Hopefully it's targeting the kid price point. I think these are $9.99. Some of them are $9.99. Anyhow, you've got the Ecto 1, and then you've got these other ones that seem to be a lot like, well, the kid ones that they made before. Maybe even reissuing some of them. But you've got Phoebe, Callie, Trevor, Gary, Ecto 1, and probably some more stuff going on in there. This stuff is up for pre-order at BBTS. If you're interested in it and you're just getting it, I'm not sure where else it's going to show up. Probably Targets and Walmarts and stuff. But it's one of those things, though, with Ghostbusters, all hitting super clearance, going to Ollie's, and all of that. I'm not sure retailers really want to be involved in this so much. But I haven't seen this on store shelves, and I'm not sure when they'll show up on store shelves. But yeah, it's almost like Ghostbusters is not something that's viable at retail. Although I would love for them to come out with the Ecto Glows. Use the same mold you've got. Make the Ecto Glow figures. That's what everybody really wants. Now, I'm going to say, since the holidays, kind of the last 2 weeks of the year, and so far pretty much this first week of this year, Ollie's and Ross have not gotten much. But they are gearing up to get more stuff. And I thought the whole thing was over. I thought that, hey, they got a bunch of stuff, sold through it. What's lingering around is all that's left. And then this pops up. Now, these aren't the greatest figures in the world, and I have to say that I do not like the fact that they put these in the deluxe larger packaging. I would have rather them keep this in a standard packaging, because that's what I want. That's reminiscent of when we were younger and all that. This bigger packaging is awkward to display, awkward to store, and I don't like it. I like the standard one so much more. But that's where I think they went wrong. $20-something price point on these that are $15 figures, and they ended up at Ross for, guess how much? $5. $5 each. That's the cheapest I've seen any of these. Even the online sales, all that. Ross for $5 from, in some cases, $23 down to $5. All right, so I got very little inside information from some very lovely ladies that work at Ollie's, and they know me. When I walk in, they just tell me they didn't get anything, or hey, we got this, check it out. But they did say that Wednesday, so it's upcoming Wednesday, there should be a new ad coming out, and on that should be new stuff. There's some new stuff. They said that they believe it's mostly more Dungeons and Dragons stuff. They have no idea. They're not even allowed to open the boxes and see what's in it to tell anyone. But they see a lot of Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Hopefully it's wave 2 of the cartoon animation stuff, so that would make them like $6 and something if the 33% off sale's still going on. But yeah, we have a 33% off sale on toys right now, and stuff just isn't moving at all in January. And yeah, all this stuff is still there, and they've taken the time to organize it, make it look neat and organized, which is great. I mean, I like that they do that, but wow, it's not even moving at 33% off of already like 60% off, and it's 33% off of that. All right, so before I get into Star Wars and talking about the Star Wars segment, I do want to say that I made this video about the best of the prequels, and one of the things that I wasn't surprised about is that it's not very popular. Not many people are interested in watching it. Not many people are interested in watching any content about Star Wars if you're positive about it this day and age. If you're being negative and hating on it or hating on the company, then people love it. Absolutely love watching those kind of videos. I understand that because a lot of people are disappointed in the direction that Star Wars has gone, and it's just losing collectors left and right. I hear from collectors and see people dumping collections of Black Series and even vintage collection stuff all of the time. I'm not shocked, but I figure, right now, prequels, I'm liking them a little bit better than the sequel trilogy. Warming up to them a lot more. All right, as for Star Wars news this week, there is the Mando wave of retro figures available for order at Hasbro Pulse and probably other places too. But it's funny, I've already seen reviews of these, and they're just pretty much the same exact thing you'd expect. For $12, you're getting a Kenner-style Star Wars figure with 5 points of articulation, and there are some soft goods in this that make it a little bit better. But I'm not in on this, like I always say. I'm not going to get these until they go on clearance. Unless it's something I really wanted. Like, I paid full price to get the Yak Face wave. I would have liked to get a couple of few Yak Faces and do some openings and comparisons. But anyhow, this retro line, it's only cool to me if they're doing original trilogy figures. Why are they not doing the Droids characters? Why are more of the Droids characters? Why didn't they do the Droids characters they did for a vintage collection in retro? None of this stuff really makes sense. And there's a couple of helmets that are starting to show up. I think these were previously announced. I stopped the helmet game. I just kind of ran out of space for displaying helmets. And I don't do like cosplay anymore. So with that, these are cool for those who are wanting to cosplay or just want to have a helmet or have a helmet collection or that kind of memorabilia. It's in there. They had one of these, I forgot which one it was, for like $30 at Ollie's. So those sold really fast. And there's reports that the Paz Vizsla is starting to show up if you're interested in this. It looks to me just like the Heavy Mandalorian. Was the Heavy Mandalorian already Paz Vizsla? I don't even know. I don't even know what I did with my figure. It's in a box somewhere. I'm definitely not interested in getting this, but is it just a straight up reissue of the figure we already had? Or are they reissuing that figure, slight paint apps, and changing the name? I don't even remember. But Wednesday, January 24th, 10 a.m., there's supposed to be some pre-orders that are coming, and what's coming out? No, we don't know. So there's probably going to be some new reveals, maybe new reveals and stuff. I remember them saying they're not going to do pre-orders for Star Wars stuff anymore, which was funny. Like, they're just going to make it and you buy it, and now they're saying there's going to be pre-orders. But anyhow, this is interesting to see what comes out. Probably just going to be like repaints of stuff we've already gotten, and maybe figures based off of new Disney franchise characters. But I really want to see, I want to see more of the original trilogy characters. And if you watched my video from yesterday, there's some stuff from the prequels I'd be interested in getting. But anyhow, I don't have high hopes for it, but I always have an optimistic view going into it. Sadly, I'm usually disappointed. So let me know what else is going on out there in this week's weekly news review. What did you like about this? What stuff are you in on? What stuff are you excited for? And what did I miss and not talk about? Like, subscribe, and Titanium Hair out.